If you ever played the early Tiger II, then you know one of its biggest issues is the weak turret front. At only 100 millimeters of raw thickness, even tanks like a T-34-85 can punch right through it. To counter this, you can actually angle your turret, but don't angle it on the left side. Your commander's cupola actually has a bulge that sticks out of the side of the turret that is a vulnerable spot. Instead, angle using the right side of your turret. Point the corner of your turret towards the left of the enemy vehicle, and this will make tanks like the Shermans or T-34s with the 85mm gun unable to penetrate you. However, that doesn't fully cover you, because the Tiger II also has a weak spot in the form of the machine gun port in the hull. You can also counter this. You can either hide it behind cover, or you can angle your tank. Just turn your tank to the right and point the corner of your hull towards the enemy. While this works against tanks with the 76 and 85mm guns, this will not work against tanks like the American T-34, IS-2, and other vehicles. The same thing goes for the turret. Now, one thing about the Tiger IIs is that they can carry a metric ton of ammunition. Carrying all this ammunition just means you'll be easily one-shot by any penetration on your tank. What I recommend doing is looking in the X-ray view. You'll see how many rounds fit into the ready rack. Take one more round than this, and that'll stop all shots from the hull from one-shotting you through ammo detonation. Due to the amount of up tiers at 6.7, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of tough foes that can easily penetrate your turret front. While at the same time, these vehicles can also be pretty strong against your own gun. Starting with T-26E5, you can go through the machine gun port, you can go through the turret ring, you can actually go through those hatches for the machine gunner and the driver, but you can't just shoot in the middle or glacis, you have to shoot at the corners. With the Super Pershing, you can go through the turret trinks, you can go through machine gun port. Now, one thing you may not know that you can do to Super Pershing is shoot the spring coils on the top of the turret. This will stop its vertical traverse and make it a lot harder for him to shoot back at you. Moving on to the T-29/T-34, you can go through the gun shield at close range, which you might not know about. You can go through the turret front, but only if he's not pointing his gun directly at you. You can go through the machine gun port, and you can go through the lower glacis, but once again, don't shoot down the center, you can go to the sides. Moving on to the T-32. It has a weakness in the form of the machine gun port. You can go through the whole crew hatches, and lastly, there's a lower glacis weak spot. On the M103, you actually don't have access to a lower glacis weak spot. However, you can take this tank out by shooting the commander's cupola. The rest of the turret is quite strong. However, if he's not pointed directly at you, you can go through his turret cheeks pretty easily. The T-95/T-108, otherwise known as the Doom Turtle. From the front, all you really have is the cupola. When he's on his side, you have to be careful where you shoot him. I recommend shooting the upper side armor here, and this will do a lot of damage to him. For the Russian heavy tanks, the IS-2 1944. Pretty easy shots include the turret cheeks and lower glacis. Don't shoot the upper hull armor, you're not going to go through. Now, one thing that's interesting about this vehicle is that if his hull is not directly pointed at you, you can penetrate his curved side armor here. Now we have the IS-3. I wouldn't recommend trying to take this tank head on. However, if you had no other options, you can go through the driver's hatch. If you are facing an IS-3 from the side, you can't just shoot it anywhere. The upper side armor will stop your round. However, if you shoot the lower side armor, your round will go straight through and is very likely to one-shot the tank. Another, even more serious threat you can face is the IS-4. It has a driver's hatch reach spot, however, it's even smaller than the IS-3's. Once again, from the side, most of the tank is impenetrable. You'll have to go through the lower side armor. A similar situation for the IS-6, however, it's a little easier. You can go through the gun shield, or you can try your luck going through those commander cupolas. From the side, I just recommend sticking to the lower side armor. Moving over to the British tanks, there's a Tortoise. You can shoot this flat area on both sides of the gun that doesn't have the additional armor. There's also flat areas in the casemate you can take advantage of too. And finally, there's the cupola that you can shoot at to take out a good amount of his crew. Next, the UK counterpart to the M103. The Conqueror has a weak lower glacis. It also has a commander's cupola that you can take advantage of. And sometimes you can also do a bit of damage through it through the gun shield. Finally, Japan. There's the hull reed. Don't try to take out its gun breech. What you actually should do is shoot the outer sides of the casemate. This is only about 200 millimeters, so you can go through it at a pretty decent range. Now, one thing that is easily misused on these Tiger IIs is the smoke grenade launchers. What you don't want to do is just launch it after getting shot at. Whenever you shoot your smoke grenade launchers, you're blinding your enemy, but you also blind yourself and any allies that could have helped you in this situation. The best way to use smoke is to actually deny enemy line of sight through possible approach avenues. Example of this are choke points for caps. You do this, you can actually hear the vehicles coming over, get your gun pointed at the right spots, and you'll get the shot off much faster than they can. There's a way that you can use cruise control on the Tiger II to make it almost like having a stabilizer. Just use the first cruise control setting whenever you're moving from point to point, and you'll be able to fire on the move fairly accurately. With the battle rating at this early production Tiger II sits at, you'll start facing vehicles that have commander override. I show you how to defeat tanks like this, as well as other tips that you need to know in War Thunder in this video here.